Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here, Golden Opportunities Coaching. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you who are seasoned veterans of what we do around here. What we do around here is we try to give uh, advice and encouragement on coaching related topics. I also run a coaching business for relationships as well as business and life coaching issues, deal with trauma core stuff, all sorts of cool stuff. If that would be helpful to you, please feel free to send me a direct message on Twitter at PO Perception or go to the website that's in my description here on YouTube. In any event, today we're going to talk about 8 things that makes dating difficult if you struggle with anxiety. And anxiety is, of course, the preoccupation with what other people think in simplest form. It can have both physical and mental um, you know, implications. So I'm just going to run through these 8 things. The most is the rethinking loop. So a rethinking loop is I did this, I said this, I didn't say this, I wasn't here, I reached out too quickly, I did something wrong, whatever that is, and you're rethinking while you're sitting, standing, or in front of the other person about what their perception might be of what you did. And so, therefore, you begin to almost have an anxiety attack just based on what they might be thinking without actually giving them the benefit of having a conversation that lets you know what they're thinking. It's very difficult, and that's actually the lead into another one of the things, which is when you are dating and you have anxiety, it's hard to think. It's hard to think about things to say. It's hard to fill speech gaps. It's hard to fill gaps in emotion. You're spending so much time trying to avoid physical manifestations like stomach issues or sweating or labored breathing or rapid breathing or other physical manifestations of your anxiety that a lot of times what happens is you take pauses, elongated pauses, which ultimately can cause you to come across not interested or come across really nervous. So the other person might get nervous, especially imagine 2 people with anxiety trying to date, and and neither person knows how to lead things in a good way that's um, ultimately progressive, and so that can cause a lot of trouble. Overcoming anxiety is about learning how to manage your responses internally, and that can take the form of meditation, deep breathing, taking physical space, talking things through, but the challenge is how do you not do that too much so you don't put yourself in that rethinker's loop. Then you end up blocking your progress. If a person picks up a vibe or an intuition that you're not really interested, they're going to pull back from you, which is going to make you more self-conscious, which at the end of the day is your worst fear come to light. So that just triggers the anxiety loop all over again. Realize and recognize that for most people, dating is a nerve-wracking experience. Now, if you're in the right place and you just look at it as an opportunity, then it's much easier. But so often when we kind of build an imaginary relationship in our own minds, it can become, this need for perfection when going through the process. In reality, if a relationship's going to last, long term, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years or longer, you're going to see each other at your worst and at your best. And so, if you're willing to be yourself from the beginning, you actually make the chances of things last longer because they're having to accept all of you from the beginning versus that plastic pretend you that you think you have to put on in order to get a second, third, or fourth date. The next thing is your mind begins to drift. So you're thinking about everything except what's right in front of you. So you might be thinking about how the waiter reacted to you, or how other people around you are acting, or how you already acted, or what you need to do next to impress a person or keep a person's attention. And you're not present moment minded, and lack of present moment mindedness in a relationship can cause miscommunications related to a person's level of intention and the integrity with which they're approaching the relationship. And then that causes the changes in body structure. So you might begin a repetitive tic behavior. You might have difficulty breathing, like heavy breathing, labored breathing, rapid breathing. You might feel your heart or pulse rate increase and all these other things. And then you've got to kind of excuse yourself because it's like, oh, no, they might see that I'm nervous. And then, of course, body language and the other aspects of that can cause that as well. The last thing is fear of saying the wrong thing causes us to say nothing. And so when there's gaps of silence, a person says, "Oh, did I offend this person? Did I somehow do something wrong or say something wrong?" And that leads to challenges too. So dating a person that has anxiety requires, I wouldn't say more communication, but clearer communication than dating someone that doesn't struggle in that way. If you are going back into the dating world or having difficulty in relationships and you'd like some help with that, I work with people all the time on communication challenges. Please go to PO Perception at PO Perception on Twitter. Send me a direct message. We can certainly set something up to help you get where you want to be. But until next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Till next time, be safe.